how do you, outside of social media, stay present and live a life of, intentionality and
I think for me, what really roots me is deciding on understanding the few things that I really want to give my energy and time to, whether that is maybe my job, maybe some of the passions I have, whether that is the gym or working out, exercise, and a few close people in my life. Those few blocks of things that I need to do, I give them my 100%
yeah,
focus. And for me, one thing that really, really, really just I feel very naturally present in is when I'm in like one on one conversations with
yeah,
people.
yeah.
There is immediately an energy that suddenly calms me down when I'm in a setting with just one person and we're in a room. And it's almost like meditation to me. It's a bit weird because
It
it's
is.
very engaging.
It is meditative for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah,
definitely. Like when a person isn't on their phone and it's just the two of you talking, I think that's one of the most meditative things you can do because you're present and you're just connecting with another soul. And I think that's like having those kinds of touch points with the people that are close to me um, is really, really important and keeps me rooted as well.
that's beautiful. So you sort of, in practical terms, set aside time for specific things that you value,
Yeah,
like you mentioned.
and putting quality time to the things that I think it starts with intention. You need to decide what is important to me. What are the four or
What I
five
want to do.
things
Yeah,
that are very, very important to me? You set them as non-negotiables that I need to put my clean attention to these things. I cannot be compromising them with distractions.
yeah.
And then you do so because I think people find this a bit boring, this idea of like being very disciplined and having a routine and being very set with these things. You're losing spontaneity, but I think it is important because we live in a world that is so fleeting and constantly changing. I think that kind of discipline is important where, for example, if I'm waking up at 5 and I need to go to the gym at 6, that is my gym time and then I'm going to be fully focused and it is what it is. And I think that kind of setting that structure that this is the time for this helps me be very present and put proper attention into things.
I think it's almost the opposite. Like when you do set these strong boundaries and are disciplined, you are showing up and you're creating space for something to occur, an opportunity or anything to occur within that space.
Yeah,
If you're just open to anything and everything, like you will receive energy from every side, right? And you have no means to differentiate like
yeah,
what you want, what you don't want. But if you have that regimented, disciplined life and you set clear boundaries,
yeah,
anything that you could have spontaneous things or ideas or opportunities come in to you within that
totally.
frame, which
Yeah.
can help you progress further within that frame. That's where you want to progress anyway. So
I was reading this book by Rick Rubin called The Creative Act,
he's
and
great.
yeah, I love Rick Rubin, and he talks about in that book. So Rick Rubin, for people that might not know, is he doesn't have a clear title, but he's like a music producer. He's worked on some of the most iconic, famous albums with some
He's
of the
been
biggest,
relevant since so
exactly,
long.
artists of all time. So in this book, he talks about creativity, which goes beyond just artistic creativity. If you're having a conversation with somebody, that's also creativity where you're creating with each
Something,
other.
yeah.
So he talks about how even to foster creativity, you need discipline and a regimented structure. So that could be like maybe you work better at like 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. So you're a night owl, but those hours, then you need to make sure that you're dedicating properly to that thing because no matter how much we say, oh, I need to be spontaneous and I need to do this to be, unless you're being intentional with the amount of time you're setting to do the things that you want, you're not going to get them done. And that even pertains to something like creativity, which you would think would be a very non-structured venture, but it's
It's
actually
not.
not. That also requires certain guidelines in place
Yeah.
to ensure that you're getting the best quality of output.
Yeah. You definitely need to curate the space in a
For
way
sure.
wherein you are, best, open to to that creativity to
Yeah.
unfold. When we're open to everything, like that's the worst way to that you're not going to be creative.
Yeah.
You know, so that's very important. How do you have any practices that you have to stay present? And I feel like the more, in my personal experience of life, the more present I am and the more intentional I am, the more happy I feel. And generally, this comes from like doing less things and just doing things that don't seemingly seem productive to people on the outside. Say like meditating for an hour a
Yeah.
day, it just like it everyone thinks in material terms, like what is the ROI of that? um
The ROI of meditation.
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's stuff like
Yeah.
this, small things, just sitting by yourself with no thoughts, or just sitting in the sun without social media. Now people just want to be extra productive. They want to be reading a book and using talking to their friend and watching a show at the same
Yeah.
time. It's like they want to do so many things at the same time, and I just think that just messes me up.
Yeah.
Um, but when I do just when I'm having this, like I have these slow days where I'm doing like not a lot of things and I'm very intentional. I'm moving really slowly. I'm
Mm.
being present with the things. When I'm eating my food, I'm eating my food. I'm not watching TV. When I'm washing the dishes, I'm washing the dishes. Per se, like mindfulness,
Yeah.
that's what it is. I just feel more present and aware, and I feel happy,
Yeah.
you know, content. But when I'm just moving from one thing to the other and trying to do
Autopilot. Yeah.
10 things at the same time, it just really messes up my energy.
Yeah. Eckhart Tolle, there's he has this book called A New Earth, which was an extremely transformative book for me that I read like 3 4 years
It's
ago.
about one consciousness, is it?
It's about consciousness. It focuses a lot on ego as well. So he has the other book, the
Power of Now.
Power of Now.
It's my
This,
favorite book.
yeah, I haven't read that one yet, but A New Earth was my introduction to Eckhart Tolle, and this basically goes more into detail about kind of
Presence,
consciousness and ego.
yes.
And what he says over there, which I really like, so he doesn't promote specific regimented meditation, which I think is really can be really beneficial as well. But what he says is in your everyday life, and this was to your point, if you're taking a shower, for example, really feel
The
the
shower.
water on your body,
Yes.
the sound of the drops, the
Yeah.
way your skin feels. Feel that moment fully rather than thinking, oh, what am I going to eat for lunch after
Next.
this shower?
Yes. Oh, you're always
100%. And if you look at a flower, like, and I've done this as well, like, the more you look at a flower, the more beauty you discover just within that flower if you actually truly
so
just
true.
look at that flower.
So true.
So for me, what really helps me hone that presence is being in nature. I'm a huge fan of hiking. All my vacations are kind of planned
Yes.
around, can I do a hike
Yeah.
over there? Sorry. Can I do a hike over there? So it's, for me, the mountains are, there's an energy to the mountains that just takes me to another stratosphere
Dimension. Yeah.
entirely. Because it's, and I like solo hiking a lot, so I like being out there completely alone. There's nobody else there. It's quiet for like miles and miles and miles, and you're just in nature. And I think for me, the way that roots me to the earth is incomparable. And I think that's also something really important, which unfortunately in Dubai we don't have as much access to. But I think nature has a really strong grounding effect on people. It automatically, like, if you're in a jungle, you're not going to be thinking about what's happening in
Of
my
course.
Gmail, you know?
Of course.
So I think nature is like one of the most potent ways we have to actually root and ground ourselves, that I think we also should be more intentional about getting into.
It's definitely rooted in biology. I did this thesis recently about biophilic design, which is immersive, adds nature to these our infrastructure and urban design. And within that, I discovered that humans have a natural affinity to nature, and just being in nature calms us down and
Yeah.
relaxes us. And it's moves our nervous system towards relaxation,
Yeah.
parasympathetic side of things. And yeah, I think nature is a great way to be present and just, trigger that part of the nervous system where you don't have those compromising,
Absolutely.
comparative,
Yeah.
shallow thoughts or doubts or
Yeah.
disbeliefs. So nature is amazing,
Yeah.
and I feel people, I've observed people who are more present and aware and intentional in their life. They really love nature.
Yeah.
Or people who are more immersed in social media and just doing 10 things at the same time and stuff, like they don't see any value in nature. So I think that is a good observation to see as well, how that's affecting
Yeah.
our life.
And a good book for people to read if they are interested in this topic, which is interesting that you wrote your thesis, is also the Nature Fix, which there's this woman
Yeah.
who's done like a lot of research into different environments and measuring the impact that different natural environments have on different bioindicators
Yes.
within us. So that book really opened my eyes as well, because I always felt it within myself that suddenly I felt a lot more relaxed, but this told me kind of the biology and the physiology behind what was happening as well.
Yeah.
So it's really, really
It draws
fascinating.
on these two psychological studies and philosophies, which is attention restorative theory and then stress recovery theory,
Mm,
which is being in nature, we can restore our attention quicker and be more present, which then obviously um, triggers our parasympathetic nervous
yeah.
system, and we feel more relaxed. When we're more relaxed, we don't have those stressful thoughts. Hi guys, it's Permeet. I just wanted to touch on this quickly. Over 80% of you guys listening are not subscribed to the show. The more subscribers we have, the easier it becomes for us to share this message with as many people as possible. You never know whose life it can change. So please hit the subscribe button, and thank you for watching.